My name is Stephen Chang. I'm from Portland, Oregon, in the way of Tokyo, Japan, and I'm representing USA. I'm excited to fight him because he seemed like he's the biggest challenge I have so far in my career. As far as my advantages goes, we shall see. We shall see. We don't know till we get in there, and I'm dying to find out as much as anybody else. I'm not sure where I'm getting my finish from, but I'm going to take the first readily available option available to me.
My name is Jackson Santa Cruz. I'm fighting out from Natal, Brazil. My opponent is a good fighter. He's a taller guy with good technique, but I think I have the right skills to beat him up. I think the way to win the fight is stay calm, follow the strategy, and sooner or later, my opponent will make a mistake and I will get the chance.
So here we go, this bantamweight feature bout here. Now we'll see the undefeated Stephen Chang take on Jackson Santa Cruz. Let's welcome the fighters. So here he comes, Jackson Santa Cruz making his way towards the UFL cage. Now, Frank, his last fight was actually against Amun Cosme. That was in the bantamweight opening quarterfinals. He lost there in the first round. A devastating finish from Amun Cosme. Jackson Santa Cruz was keen, especially when we returned to Mesa, Arizona, to make the walk again. He wants to wipe that from the memory, and it's, it's a big part, right, of fighting, trying to move on to the next thing. You're only as good as your last performance, yes. And he feels he didn't show up and give the people of Mesa a performance that he truly is about.
Oh, I tell people fighting's the worst thing, right? If you're a bad quarterback on Sunday, you got only 6 days to dwell on it. You're going to start working on the next game. When you have a bad fight, you get caught with a shot, knocked out, finished, just bad, whatever. It just doesn't go your way. You have months to seethe on it, to be upset about it, to where you're sitting there just burning you before you can come back and turn it around and showcase a better performance. But also, too, there's going to be those questions. How do you rebound? So not only do you have to worry about the performance, but now you have people questioning, and you yourself might question your future performance. First time you get knocked out, it's like, hey, how are you going to recover from that? Some fighters don't, and people are very aware of that. And we don't know why some can recover from a loss and some can't. There's never been a consistent correlation. Well, this, that. So until you get back in there, you just don't know. No amount of training, no amount of sparring is ever going to be this. So you have to come out here and do this again to get that monkey off your back.
One thing on the back of the shirts there you'll see is embrace the journey, right? And you talk about that is the highs and the lows of this journey. And one way to do it and get back into that win column would be to take an easy opponent, right? Be in hometown and go, right, I'll fight, somebody that I can beat and just wipe it away. But he didn't want that. He's got a legitimate opponent from a great camp. Stephen Chang, 4-0, a very dangerous opponent. So he doesn't want to just come back and, get a victory. He wants to get a legitimate victory to take him back into the win column.
And that's actually a good idea in a lot of ways because, look, there's always a danger from losing to anybody. But you go out there and you beat a chump, yeah, you have a win, but you shouldn't answer all the questions because the guy you beat, now you question what are you going to do against a good guy? So now coming out here and facing quality opponents, which Jackson's chosen to do, now if he comes out and he's successful, he can answer those questions.
So Santa Cruz inside the cage. Time to welcome his opponent, Stephen Chang. Stephen Chang, representing American top team in Portland, fighting out of the USA by way of Japan. And Frank, there is something that I've put on my notes, which is don't judge a book by his cover, because he is quiet, timid almost when you talk to him, humble. That Japanese spirit kind of emulates through him, and it's almost like if you just spoke to him without seeing the cauliflower ears, then there's no way this guy does combat sports. This walk he makes, and the moment he steps inside the cage, there is a transformation in this human being, from the timid, the calm, the still waters, to the tsunami of violence that he brings when that cage door shuts. It's been so impressive for me to jump back and watch his fights from amateur all the way into professional, and to see how he walks into the fire of the fight. And it blew me away when I met him, because I was expecting somebody with bravado, somebody a bit bolshy, somebody who carried that outside the cage. It couldn't be the more opposite. So again, I will say it, do not judge this book by its cover.
No, and Stephen Chang actually kind of reminds you see those guys that are, 30-year veteran in the military, glasses, you're like, hey, who's that guy? I'm like, oh, he's the founder of Delta Force, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably killed more people than you've met, you know what I mean? Stephen Chang's able to flip that switch, which a lot of athletes have to have. He just has such a drastic change between it. And when he goes in there, very dangerous fighter with striking. And also one area that actually I like that he's able to do, his body, he's long and lanky. If you take him down, he is a legitimate threat off of his back with a brown belt in Jiu Jitsu, but very dangerous triangles and guard work that translates very well to the MMA.
Absolutely superb analysis there from the Mr. Frank Mir. We're set, we're ready, let's get this one announced. Let's hand it to Michael Vale.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the UFL Bantamweight division, and it's scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, official weight 135.7 pounds. He has a professional record of 6 wins, 3 losses. Fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona, please welcome Jackson Samurai Santa Cruz. And now let's welcome his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, official weight 135.5 pounds. He has a professional record of 4 wins, no losses. Fighting out of Beaverton, Oregon, let's welcome Stephen Chang. The referee in charge.
The tape between these two fighters. 4-0 is Stephen Chang, 6-4 Santa Cruz. Height and reach on the side. Sorry, not reach, height on the side of Chang. Santa Cruz with quite a considerable reach advantage, 5 inches. We'll see if that comes into play. Set and ready, 3 5-minute rounds. This in a feature bantamweight bout. Chang in the yellow shorts, red corner, taking on Santa Cruz, blue shorts. Sorry, blue corner, black shorts, me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir. This, UFL 3. Once again, we have that southpaw versus orthodox there. Towering over his man is Stephen Chang.
You can see the difference in length right there. Just reach advantage, which should give him an advantage in the striking realm as far as he keeps it at distance. Jackson is going to have to really make sure he comes offline, feint, fake, and pull him out of his element to make him miss so he can cover that distance before he can be dangerous.
Jackson Santa Cruz, he always brings intensity to his fights, but you can see him feeling this one out. It was a quick finish from Ramon Cosme. Now he's just trying to get that time and settle in the cage a little.
It's clocking time, getting in there, getting used to it, getting comfortable again, being in this element, because the only time we actually get to do this is this right here. There's never a time you're in the gym sparring with 4-ounce gloves on and no other shin guards, mount, you know what I mean? This is it. It's one of the very few sports that you only really get to practice the night you actually do it. We simulate it, we get as close as we can, but it's almost like real warfare where it's like, hey, the only time you're shooting live rounds is when you're shooting live rounds.
First minute, 10 seconds done.
Level change they're coming from Cruz. You see he's trying to like maybe jab low, go low, come up high, see if he can get something to fire off and reach over the top of Stephen Chang. And Chang, though, really the onus is a little bit on him now to be a little more aggressive with his distance, his length. See the punches? And that's not a bad idea right now. Sometimes young fighters, they throw a punch, even if it's going to fall short. Start getting an idea of where your range is. Much better than not throwing your hands at all, because then you have no idea where you are in space. In fact, in boxing, they'll call your jab, right, the range finder.
Yes.
You got eyes, what do you mean? It's still a perception. You need,
Oh, nice knee, nice knee. Chang now moving forward. Couple of good shots there. Seems unaffected, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, you'd think that it was Chang that got rocked there. Those teeps are dangerous weapons that he can use, especially that southpaw orthodox stance. It's opened up where it's really easy to hit someone in the midsection with that rear foot.
2 minutes, 40 seconds. Apart from those shots in the clinch there from Chang, it feels like it's anybody's round to take, Frank.
Yeah, right now it is. It's just whoever next really gets the momentum going in their direction. Both guys are still, and at this moment, even though there was a good exchange there, still in kind of feel-out time. You know, they're trying to figure each other out. The only problem is neither guy is really doing, and it's a little more on Chang's part, doing enough to figure each other out. It's like, all right, you guys are sitting there and you're tussling and moving around, but like, you're not throwing anything that we can see fakes and reactions so you can start devising a game plan.
Well, that's a nice entry though there from Santa Cruz. Now this is where Chang is dangerous off his back as well. Let's see if he looks to get up. Oh, already looking to wrap those legs up.
Yeah, Chang did a good, Santa Cruz wrapped in the legs, sitting on the body triangle, or leg triangle. And now if you could tilt him into one direction, you could take that wrist away from him and put him flat on the mat.
He's trying to pull him back now.
And now he's got his legs open now, and now you see Chang using the butterfly hook to try to create space. His shin in there is a frame to push away Santa Cruz's hips so he can create room to get up. He's still trying to keep that left hook in there, which is good. If he loses that, Jackson's going to completely have a dominant position.
Jackson's strong on top as well. 6 of his wins, 6 pro wins, 4 by finish, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions.
Again, you see the left leg of Chang is what's keeping, like everybody might be wondering, hey, look, Santa Cruz is on top. Why is he not raining down shots? I'm like, he's stuck in a half sweep right now. If he drives forward at all and gets an arm caught, he's going to get thrown to his back.
Chang, a brown belt in Jiu Jitsu, keeping his feet on the hips. Oof. Made space back to his feet and back in, and looking for a takedown again is Santa Cruz.
Well, that exchange was good for Cruz the first time. On that second one, Chang got up so easily, that was actually not good for Cruz. To go, hey, I got the takedown, I used a lot of effort, and he didn't use any effort to get up to his feet.
Final 15 seconds of round number 1 here between these two. Oh! Saw the corner there, the corner of Santa Cruz, calling him in, saying follow him down. Trying to work his way through those long limbs, those long legs of Stephen Chang.
I think Santa Cruz's corner wanted him to come forward because the exchange there, damage. It might have been a super close round that you're aiming towards Chang. That slip and just standing over him, it's not enough to get the judges to go, okay, you're winning. It wasn't aggressive enough, it wasn't dominant. You're not trying to hurt the guy or finish him. Really, you're standing there stalling in front of his open guard. If you would have came forward, throw the ankles to the side, imposed a little bit more of his will, that might have changed and gave him more benefit to be in his favor.
Now this is some of the early exchanges from Chang, but just talk us through some of the action. This is the clinch work.
Yeah, Chang's knees, man, he's able to throw knees, and right there, it actually bit him in the butt. He fired that knee up so high that he was on one leg, and Santa Cruz just shoved him forward. So it wasn't even a knockdown. That much more reason why he should have listened to his corner and closed range, because that round is really a draw. I don't know.
Close, right? Saw the cutman just icing the forehead of Santa Cruz. Those possibly from some of those knees in the clinch. Set for round number 2. Off we go. Chang in the red corner, yellow shorts, Santa Cruz, black shorts, blue corner, me, Brian Lacey, and Frank Mir calling the action. What adjustments would you look from Chang in this round?
Well, Chang has to start being more active.
There you go.
You know, you have the range. Take advantage of it. Right here, you're a striking range. You're at distance. You're the tall, leaner, longer guy. Why are you not taking advantage of it? Chang is the one, or excuse me, Jackson Santa Cruz is the one that has to like make him miss, fake him out, off timing. He has to go through that onslaught of weapons that you can hit him, that he can't hit you, to get to you. And that makes it to where it's harder for him until he gets closer. And Chang's so used to having that height. He knees people in the face standing up without really pulling them off balance. Most guys, when we clinch the head, you pull and you break the person's posture and you drive the knee up to the head. Well, most guys can't get their knee up that high, so you bring the guy's head down.
Oh, cup shot, jumping knee, cup shot. Oh my goodness. Sorry to cut you off there, Frank.
Yeah, no.
That was, he was jumping, he was aiming for the midsection. I'm not sure if Chang jumped at the same time, but it was a flying knee to the cup there.
I think that's my first flying knee to the cup.
Well, shall we replay it?
I always like
Shall
seeing
we
it.
have another look?
It's like YouTube at night. I want to see. Anyways, Chang's ability to throw knees without breaking a guy's posture because he's so tall, I think is actually working against him, because that's why Jackson is able to actually push him and throw him off balance. As Chang's bringing his knee up, he's able to shove him down.
Here we go, you see, go back to the cage. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to the crowd hearing that in slow-mo as well.
You know what? To Cruz's defense, if Chang was more his height, that would right to the middle of the midsection. I mean, all jokes aside, the guy's really tall. He jumped up. He's just, his height, you know, Santa Cruz is actually not a tall guy for the weight class, and Stephen Chang's extremely tall for the weight class, so.
Stephen Chang talking to the referee, a wry smile on his face, but I'm sure he's not feeling happy at the minute. He will have that full 5 minutes. And this is an interesting chess match of a fight, Frank, not just style-wise, but like you said, even anatomically, one of the issues being thrown up there by that flying knee, but...
Everybody, the ranges are off at different heights. It brings up different issues.
There we go. They are on the way once more. Both getting a few extra minutes oxygen before they go back at it here. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in round number 2. Oh, Santa Cruz in on that. Gets it easily as well, Frank.
Yeah, that was tenacious. He took the body kick. He saw that Chang was really not in good position didn't really recover after throwing the kick. He probably thought Santa Cruz was going to back away, and instead took a double on him, a nice snatch double, and now he's on the back. If he can secure the legs, he might be able to pose a real deep threat here.
And Santa Cruz in a good spot here with 3 minutes to work as well. This has been straight away, look at that.
Good, chop the leg, control one hip. He just needs to control the opposite shoulder with the wrist.
Looking for the switch there, Chang.
Yeah, and if you can't get your hips popped out to the side, getting your knees free, hitting a switch is really hard to do.
Now rolls to his back, Chang. He's got a very active guard, good submissions, good triangles off his back, but Cruz has got such a crushing top game, Frank.
Yeah, look at his head position, driving hard down, his hips are there. He's not gonna be an easy guy to create the space to get the submission. And right now, with his head against the cage, Jackson Santa Cruz is going to take advantage of the fact that Chang's offense off his back is going to be extremely limited. He can't switch from hip to hip, hard to change angles. His spine is basically locked against the cage, and it makes it very hard for the bottom guy. I always tell people, at this range, your head's stuck against the cage, this is where Jiu-Jitsu dies. It turns into a pure wrestling match. You have to secure position and get out of there.
Now working from this top position, just happy to fire these shots down to the midsection with 1 minute 50 seconds left in round number 2.
Well, I'm sure in Santa Cruz's eyes, he's on top. For all accounts, he's winning right now, but he's not really doing a lot of damage. He's not really securing anything menacing. You know, yes, Stephen Chang's carrying his weight, but he needs to be a little bit more active in order to try to maybe pass the half guard, do something, and that's why the referee started them up. Really a lack of activity in that position.
Yeah, referee.
And you really can't get a guy in a better position than his head stuffed against the cage. I don't know why he didn't take advantage of that.
Spinning attack there from Stephen Chang. And you've got to feel he needs to make something happen in this fight now.
That's now a tactic that Santa Cruz has found some success with. He fires a straight left hand, then steps off at an angle, loads his right leg, and then can fire back across on the double. So he's not coming straight at you. He's coming off angle, and he's able to change levels and throw something in front of himself as he's coming forward. Very sound technique, very sound strategy. There he gets. He throws that left, head off to the side, and he can load that leg and come back. And it doesn't have to be a shot. You'll see guys load hooks and kicks off of that.
You talk about embracing the journey. Is the shot he got caught with was coming forward with the straight leg without taking the angle off of the shot. That was what led to his demise at UFL 1. Strong cage pressure here from Santa Cruz. Final seconds of round number 2. Set for round 3, Frank, and you got to say, Santa Cruz looks to be edging away now.
Yeah, Santa Cruz is definitely his strategy. At least he's been able to pose a couple takedowns, land some shots. He's got something that's working for him that he can go and sit down in the corner and they go, okay, make adjustments or more of this. But see there, those shots, it even came with a really hard left hook off of that. That was the incidental knee to the groin. But Santa Cruz is starting to like figure Stephen Chang out. All right, I'm gonna throw straight lefts down the middle, step off angle, drive back into you off of that angle. I haven't really seen Stephen Chang figure out what his game's gonna be. What weaknesses or what holes does he see available? Right now, his corner needs to tell him to look for something, and if they don't see it, give him an idea. Tell him to go for something. You know, you try to give your fighter freedom to think of things, but sometimes when a guy's just a deer in the headlights, you gotta take over for him as much as you can.
Well, you talk about it, Ed Herman is in his corner. You talk about wealth of experience there. Somebody who has been in the trenches and has brought some huge victories against some top competition from coming from behind. Those voices in your ear, they're super important. Round 3 underway, here we go. Oh, here we go. Definitely a different demeanor from Stephen Chang as we move into the 3rd round.
The mindset, definitely his corner said something to him and inspired him because that's the most fire we've seen him come at.
Santa Cruz, though, with another takedown in this top position within 30 seconds,
Yeah,
Frank.
great position to be in, stepping over the half guard, driving your head down into their face, lifting your hips up, letting the opponent, I mean, you can crush your face against their face, against the cage, can't go anywhere. Your head becomes a 5th limb, and you can just really impose your will.
Chang trying to get back to his feet again. Santa Cruz with this smothering style here in round number 3. And off big losses like Cruz is coming back in, sometimes you wonder about the motivation, right? Because you've got to get back up, go back in the gym, go through it all again, trying to chase a victory. One thing you've got to see from this performance is he's put the cardio work in, right? That strength and conditioning to maintain this performance has been extremely impressive.
Yeah, because he's had to use some explosive movements to cover distance. And here, this is his good sound technique, keeping his weight on top of Chang, controlling his legs. He's moved in now, basically the Z guard, half guard position. There's not a lot of threat, anything here besides, he just has to be cautious not to fall asleep, but the hips are far enough down and he's high up enough that it should be enough time if he sees Chang try to pop a triangle up or hit a Kimura or go for something.
And he has the time to work, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Now back to his feet is Chang. Let's see if he charges forward, tries a front kick. He's willing to take risks, Frank, but he never moves past phase 1, right? He steps in, tries something, but doesn't follow it up.
No, I don't think he's found what he feels. I feel his home run shots are probably what he feels secure about are those knees to the head. And because he's been pushed to his back a couple times and off balanced, his brain doesn't want to go back to them now. Now he's trying to find other weapons and he's finding no confidence in them, it looks like, at the moment.
Santa Cruz circling on the outside. And it's interesting, it feels like Chang is the one that is struggling to cover the range, right? He's doing these spinning attacks, he's trying big shots, big jumping attacks, whereas he has the advantage in that department anatomically.
He does, he just doesn't use his structure. He doesn't push off the back foot to drive forward onto the jab or the cross. He doesn't really know how to bring his waist towards you with authority. He kind of comes in, and probably because he's so much taller than people, he hasn't had to close distance. And here he's fighting, Cruz is moving good footwork. And now when it's, okay, now you're losing, you got to come forward. You can't wait for the guy to come in on you. And he's finding himself lacking that ability.
Oh, and Cruz in again. Set that up beautifully, Frank. Got him thinking about the hands, then change the level.
Yeah, same thing again. Left hand threw something that time, he threw it as a hook, and then stepped off angle and drove back across into the double. And now he's controlling Chang pretty well here. With a minute left, if he just brought his activity up a little bit, he could really secure the round. More so, I mean, I feel it is, but definitely keep the referee from starting the fight up to his feet.
Yeah, referee looking up. Only 1 minute left in this round, though. 1 minute left in this fight. And once again, you can get 50% off your F3 Energy order. Go to the Amazon store, go to f3energy.com. Use the code UFL3. Join the revolution in energy drinks, which is F3 Energy. Final 30 seconds here, just ticking away now. And it's a performance, again, it's not maybe the eye-catching knockout or submission that Santa Cruz would like, but a tough opponent, Frank, coming off the back of a loss. Hometown pressure again. It's all you could want apart from the finish, right?
Absolutely, he had a good performance against a quality opponent.
Chasing this man is Stephen Chang. Oh, there we go. Oof. 3 rounds done and dusted. Respect given before and now afterwards. And Santa Cruz, I mean, it was the performance he needed, right? Maybe not the performance the crowd would have wanted, but you've got to put in those performances sometimes, get across the line and get confidence back in yourself. 15 minutes in the cage, that experience is invaluable.
Yeah, and also he fought somebody who was so much taller and longer than him. It was an awkward puzzle to figure out, but he did figure it out. He figured out a solution. It was winning for him. Chang never really came up with a reply, so it was basically rinse and repeat. I figured out how to close distance with my backhand coming down the middle and then stepping off angle, get a takedown, stay on top, and just over and over again, and it won him the fight.
So we'll have a little recap of the fight. We'll look through the 3 rounds. Round 1. Again, we talk about trying to find the route to victory. Chang starting off extremely strong. This combination from the clinch. And then this is where Santa Cruz had a lot of success getting the takedowns, particularly against the cage. Always looking to cause damage. Round 2. Santa Cruz, you can see there's more confidence in him now. Oh, that's the cup shot. Again, a slight, that's the highlight from round 2. And round 3, there we go. These positions once again. Santa Cruz able to get it to the mat. Three rounds in the books. It will be decided by the judges. We just await our MC to enter the cage, and then we'll bring our fighters together and make this one official. This is just a feature bout, not part of the semi-finals. So let's bring the fighters together. We are set and ready, and as is our man with the mic, let's hand it to Michael Vale.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3, Sean Dallas Hall, Brad Frank, and Greta Cox scored about the same, 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, Jackson Samurai Santa Cruz.
Share some words with former heavyweight champion. Here he is, Frank Mir.
Definitely a hard puzzle to figure out. Is that the tallest guy you've ever fought?
Yeah, that is. He's really a tall guy, you know, and he's always dangerous with his knees. I watched his fights before. If you blink, he'll knock you out. I ate some of that knees, and I always worry about that. And he also about play a safe game, you know, take the control and put the game plan in the fight. That's big to keep the pressure, keep him against the cage, and that hook, you know.
The left hand, you threw the backhand punch, kept chipping off of angle and coming. That was how you set up most of your shots. Did you train for that specifically, or what it looked like as the fight went on, you figured out that was the opening you could use in strategy?
Yeah, so we always train to make a kind of hybrid game, you know. So pressure, keep the good strike, but always when the door open to get some grapple, to get some cage hook, go today, you know. Like my strength condition is based on that keep me fast and get a good pressure against the cage to use my grab, you know, use my jiu-jitsu, use my wrestling.
It was a great victory. Your winner, Jackson Santa Cruz.
So fast, Frank, me. I could say all night, say thank you for a lot of people, you know. There's a lot of people behind this victory, inside and outside the cage. We are a family. Thank you. Thank you, Arizona.